on the fact that you can get performance.
I didn't get it wrong. I got played. There's a difference.
Okay, cool. Point of correction there.
I got
Sorry.
played.
Yeah, you got played. You know. I didn't just know any better.
Yeah.
So he took advantage of that situation. So I'm thinking in a sense that now you were, if at least your name was being said enough, you were gonna maximize on your own. You're like, okay, Ganyana show, you're over there doing your thing. As long as I can kick this thing. So now clearly this song was huge. It put you on a platform, but not to the extent that it should have. Honestly,
definitely. I feel like it was a lost opportunity at that moment. I remember I was sitting with, I'm not gonna really name who, but there was a big artist that we were having a conversation during the metros, because we were invited to perform at the metros. No, I'm not gonna mention
Mosquito, shout out Schodman.
I'm not gonna mention the name. They're like, Layla, you gotta milk this opportunity is probably gonna come once in a lifetime. So while you're here, get it. You know. But at the same time, it's like you can only also do so much as well, because you also have to understand it wasn't my song. But I just thought, as a person, obviously, who was an OG in the game, teach the youngins. This is how you go about it. This is what you do and stuff like that. But I feel that wasn't given to me. You know, I just had to figure it out by myself. I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, what do I do? You hear, obviously, from different people who give you advice and stuff. Like, Dero played a huge role in just schooling me. This is now the director of Universal Music. Rest in peace, actually, to Dero.
Rest in peace, yeah.
He kind of schooled me a bit, like got me into his office. He's like, listen, this is how the game works and this is how it operates. So you gotta literally open your eyes, because you're in for a rude surprise.
So there's an era in South African house music, or just music in general, where we have similar stories. Well, I can't really speak for those stories in terms of what transpired, but what I can say is sort of like the comparison or the reference of having a huge song. There's a vocalist on it, and no one knows the vocalist. I remember I used to work on radio once in Newtown some years back, and Ruby Gold was coming through, and then the presenter had no idea who she was, and I'm like, the person who made this song. They're like,
what? Isn't that Stampani's song?
You know, so my point to that is there's archives and great music that's there where the artist never milked that song to the highest level. I don't know, maybe Ulendo Ruby Gold had different plans for herself and said, look, I don't want to be commercial. I don't want people to even know this is me, because we can't put a face into that particular song. But I think you guys gave us some great house music then. So we will definitely give you your flowers here.
Thank you.
You know? So
Appreciate
that's beautiful.
I want to ask, like, if you would go back to that time, and what would you do different? Like, you just came from the studio, you don't know you got a hit, but you have a song, or you made a song with DJ Ganyana. What would you have done different?
What I would have done differently? Firstly, I feel like like I said before, anytime you do get to studio, have an open conversation before you even hear Jack. Before you hear anything, just to get a feel. Are we all on the same page? Are we not? If you start to feel like someone is starting to tetazal a bit, you be like, okay, watch out. But it's like, okay, what is the intention? What are you trying to do with the song? Because I didn't know. I just thought, oh, DJ Ganyana, oh my gosh, you know, like, let's try it out. I didn't even think the song was even going to make it on the album, to be honest. But what I would have done differently, I think I would have been more prepared in terms of, like, with publishing and everything, had that sorted out. And it's unfortunate, though, because usually people who do get publishing deals are people who already are established. Because I only also did that after the song actually came out. It's not like you can just approach a big publishing firm and be like, okay, can you please sign me up? They'll ask you, what have you done? You know, and stuff like that. So if you just can note that, have a bit of proof, because people get amnesia up in the streets. And I'm telling you, they're like, what? You didn't do anything. And it's like, bro, for real? You know, so I really wouldn't have changed much. I think it was a big lesson. I think in that moment, I learned a big deal about the music industry, that it's not all that it's cracked out to be, that you also have to be vicious about your goals, because people are not going to think of you. You know, they're out to get whatever it is that they want to get out. So you just have to also think for yourself in that moment. So yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, working with producers, right? So you can ask, well, you can answer to both questions, but so a lot of this thing has been happening where artists are coming out to say, okay, cool. Outside of being victimized in terms of musically and whatnot, there's also different ways, because you know how guys are sometimes, or like people who have power. Not guys, people have power, essentially, call up people, want to work, but for them it's not really giving you an opportunity. They want something else rather than work, so I want to speak on that first, and secondly I want you to speak on the good stuff that happens, or the perks of being a female, where it's like, okay,